Good morning, goat lovers. Crystal here with Blue Cactus Dairy Goats, and today is finally my Saturday. I made it to the weekend. So today I get to play with my goats and check on them and just hang out with the family, so pretty excited about it. It was quite a rough week at work, so hey Lodi, what's that girl doing? Being ornery? Yeah? Oh, Lodi. So we got to get her out of this pen. This is going to be our birthing stall. We're going to make 6 stalls in here. And then Derek has a plan, of course, for a temporary shade. So it's actually a pretty nice sized pen for these does that are going to be giving birth. And we got a lot of them, so. But to get her out of there means we're gonna have to stall her up here where all of these pullets are, who are doing very well, by the way. Hey guys. Hey chickie chickie. Hey chickie chickie. Chickens are funny. So anyway, this is where she will be housed until she gets bigger. It's getting a little daunting, this little girl being able, and look at this, literally, look at, it's not very big. If you see my coffee cup, they're not big holes, but she still manages somehow. But before we can put the pullets down here, we have a lot of these birds that actually need to be taken care of and put in the fridge or freezer. Quite a few of them are old. So obviously this needs cleaned out, and hopefully tomorrow we will get to, you know, harvesting some of these guys. Miss Lodi, would you like to go out and graze while I keep an eye on you? Stinker. Yeah? Alright, hold on, I'll come in and get you. Come here, you stinker. We're gonna toss you over so you can graze, okay? You say hi. Say, I am the trouble girl. You're the trouble goat, huh? Always getting into trouble. Ready? Alright, I'm coming. What? Hi! You excited? Oh. Oh, she's so happy. Alright, girls. Let's go. These girls are over here just waiting on us. They want to be walked out to the new pasture. Impatiently waiting. Let's go, ladies. Come on. Well, Lodi, walk on your own feet, girl. They're silly. So now they're out here. Now they're happy. Now they can eat. They had to wait. How are you, prey goats? So speaking of little Miss Pill here, she was let out to graze last week when I was at work, and she snuck out, but the kids were over there filling in that hole I fell in, and Derek was up there working on the fence, and she somehow quickly got through anyway and got out straight into the buck pen. So they quickly realized, oh no, where's Lodi? And then by the time they found her, she was in the tall grass by the bucks, just eating right outside of their pen, and on her back end she had muck butt. Which means you snuck into the buck pen and they bred her. Who knows which one? So that was not a good thing. I don't want her bred yet, and on top of that, who knows who got her? So, not good, Lodi. So the plan is we're gonna get her to the vet, or at least get a shot from the vet of little eyes, and that is just going to make sure that she doesn't keep those kids. So that's not something you do. 11 days is the earliest that you can do that. So I'm gonna wait, 2 weeks is a good time. So, yay. Good job, Lodi. I just love watching them graze. So, another thing that happened. Anna. This goat has really been a lot of trouble for us as far as getting her bred. And the wethers, when the whole thing was popping off with Dawn, we noticed one of the wethers was mounting her, and she was acting completely like she was in heat. She never did that for Lucky, but, flagging, standing, and one of the wethers was obviously showing that she was in heat. So she, of course, should have been 3 months bred at least, because she was one of the last does that would have kidded. And it was just like, great. So all that stuff with Dawn was going on, so we honestly didn't, we wrote it on the calendar hoping it was just a fluke thing, maybe a false heat cycle, which you don't typically see that late into pregnancy, hopeful thinking. And then 20 days later, the weather got on her again, just recently. So she's definitely not bred. And that's just really annoying. So we bought her supposedly bred, and she went back into heat. It was obvious that she was not bred. And then we put her in with Merle, and he wasn't able to do the job. So we put her back in with Lucky, and we were just like, well, maybe she's just not even going to get bred. So then last year, Lucky obviously did get her bred, and we got little Miss Abilene out of her. So I'm really glad we at least got one kid out of her, but she's gotta go. I don't need goats in my herd that just can't get bred and give so many difficulties. And she was really chunky when we got her. So for a lot of does, it causes a lot of complications. So when a goat gets fat, they get a lot of fat around their reproductive organs, which is what makes it difficult for them to get bred. We got big Montana Sky. She's never given us an issue, but Anna, obviously she just isn't doing well. And they're dairy goats, so if you don't get them bred, they don't make milk, and of course they're not earning their keep either. So we're not housing a bunch of animals just cause, they all have a purpose, and Anna's just not serving a purpose other than eating a bunch of food here. So that's really a bummer. I was really, really bummed out about it, especially because her udder was really nice. She was a first freshener, and she just had one kid, so she didn't have a huge udder by any means, but her teat placement, she had a super tight udder, very well attached, and larger teats. So you know, Abilene is just gonna have to hopefully have that wonderful udder. You know, Abilene's sire is Lucky and his dam is Lacy, so hopefully the udder will be even better. But super tight, you know, Lacy produces a lot of milk and has large teats, so hoping Abilene will have a beautiful little udder. So anyway, plans for Anna are she can't stay here if she can't breed. Silly goats. On the move, quickly. Dawn's still doing really good, you guys. You guys are always asking about her. You're so sweet. But again, you know, I did mention her the last video, but if you guys didn't see it, she's doing really good. She's expected to be just fine, given birth. And of course, we're hoping she gives us some does that we can retain. And there's Cami over there. She never really cares about the herd. I love that goat. Look at this big mama. Elsa, how many babies do you think you got in there? I'm gonna go with at least 4, maybe 5. Big mama. Hey, Abilene. Hey, girl. Lodi is not a punk. She can hold her own, that little girl. She's like, I'll fight you. She's glad to be out here. But we have to keep a close eye. Obviously, I cannot leave her. Stinker. Look, you guys. That is a little baby bump. An udder bump. Little baby udder bump. Let's see. Mayo. You let me feel? No way. No way. Okay.
Nope.
Let's see who else has got some udder bumps. Definitely not Anna here. Nothing. You girls are supposed to be friends. You're the youngins. Really surprised Elsa actually hasn't started getting an udder bump. She will soon. Where's my Lillie? She had quite an udder bump. Lillie. She's getting a bump. Yes. I think Cassie was too. Let me see. Cassie don't care if I grab her. Just a little bit. It's starting. Cassie's my sweetie. Yes. Hey, Cami. Are you getting an udder bump? Can I look? Oh, maybe a little. May's a little punk to me. I'm going to try to get behind May. I'm still wondering on that girl. I think she's got an udder bump kicking. Let me see. Oh yeah, she's growing something. Check her out. May. So, she definitely has an udder bump kicking. I'm thinking more towards February. I'm thinking she's going to have the February 22nd due date and not the March 12th due date. So, we'll have to just see. Baby's so soon, you guys. Less than a month. That's exciting. And I think I'm going to bet May will be February. We'll know when the time gets closer, though. I felt like she was getting awful wide pretty early, but she also is a very deep-bodied doe, so she kind of hides them. And last year I thought she had 2, and she just gave us the 1 doe, so it's one of those things, like, it's like, and people ask me all the time, does my goat look pregnant? How soon do you think she'll have babies? And they're all so different. You really never know. Some will get an udder bump 6 weeks before they kid. Some won't get an udder bump until, you know, they might not even have hardly anything until they actually go into labor. It's all really just hit and miss. And on top of that, sometimes your biggest doe looks like she's gonna have a lot of babies and will only just maybe give you twins, and you might get triplets out of another goat who was half of the size. So you never really know. You can gauge it pretty much if you know your animal and you've seen them in multiple births, how they carry the babies. But even at that, they carry them different when they're younger, as they get older and develop, and their conformation, you know, they get deeper bodied. So they hide them a little bit easier as the years go on, until they're about 5 when they're matured. So, but I'm thinking in this batch, you guys, we are going to have more kids than last year, because they just look a lot wider than they did last year. They're looking more full for sure. So hopefully, and a lot of does, because we had a lot of boys last year. Let's feel for babies on Mayo. I really, really, really want a doe out of Mayo and Everest. We'll just have to see how all of that works out. I mean, I can feel the babies. They're not kicking, but she's full now. I can feel the... Okay, I'll leave you alone. You can feel them in there. I wonder if I can feel Schillies. Let's see. Then I'm gonna grab them. Why are you picking on Lodi? She's your buddy. I know I won't be able to fill on you just yet. She's later in March. No udder bump. Cami will let me fill. Won't you, baby? Want me to fill? Let's see. Oh yeah, she's getting a bump. She really, you know, like I was saying, you guys, as they get older, they get deeper, so they hide them better. But she's usually a lot wider than this. She likes to throw quads and triplets. Oh, there's a baby. Let me fill. I love you. Oh, doing somersaults in there. Right now, these babies are growing quick. It's that time you gotta keep an eye and make sure they're not fussing at you, they're getting enough food, so that these rapidly growing children inside of them are not getting all the nutrients from them. And I never give my Nigis grain unless they're milking, or like if we're trying to trick them to do something. Especially the Nigis. If you do grain them, that can make the kids very big and just make for harder deliveries. So really, you're just making sure they're getting enough alfalfa. You know, they're grazing, and when we put them up at night, or when they go in at night, they get their pellets, and they let us know if, like, okay, that wasn't enough pellets. They're like, hey, and they'll talk at you and let you know. So we gauge it. We want to make sure that they're getting enough food and they're not sitting there feeling like they're starving. But they're doing really good. So, and especially out here on pasture, they have all day as much as they want to eat. They're also big and cute. I have been talking with somebody and hopefully working on something really cool for the herd. So you guys will just have to watch, but hopefully it all works out, and I'm getting a little excited. You guys will just have to wait and see. This is the worst part of the waiting game. Start thinking, what do they have? How many do they have? Oh my gosh, look at the udder bump. Just getting really excited. Alright guys, well thank you for joining me and the herd this morning. It is a beautiful, beautiful day, so I'm gonna try to spend some time out here as much as possible before I have to get in the house and get some other things done. And I think it's gonna be almost 70 today. Sunny, not a lot of wind, so pretty excited about that. Just loving this weather. These two. But I'm gonna go get some more coffee, guys, and come back out here and again sit as long as I can until somebody starts hollering at me for spending too much time when there's so many things to do. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.